Okay, yeah, let's do it. So let's start with the Bitcoin, and I will also talk about the theory today, and then I'm also gonna talk about silver and the gold. I had a silver swing position running, but I closed it out, so I will talk about that as well. So let's talk about the Bitcoin macro first of all. My mega short POI was basically this level. I also have alert placed here was basically 74.7k. That was my mega short entry where I was looking to short. Um, we did front trend there. I am quite disappointed, but I still think that we can give a retest, go higher, do do a manipulation, and then eventually go lower. This is a very, very possible case. Or what we can do is that we can do higher manipulation towards the 80k highs, and then we go from there. But if you want to know my overall perspective about the market, I do not think so that absolute bottom is in. Sorry guys, and I think that eventually Bitcoin will go down. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, I'm having some throat problem. So eventually I do think that Bitcoin will go down, and this low here, sorry guys, this low here is not an absolute bottom. This is my overall perspective on the market. And my first attempt to catch a very big short was this box. Unfortunately, we did not get an entry, so I am right now observing the market at the moment. And if this level gets failed, then I'm fine. I will look to attempt another short opportunity from the 80k. So that is my two levels where I'm looking to short. The first one is 80k, and the second one is 74k. So even if we get stopped out at this short opportunity, I don't mind. I will look to short from there. But my bias remains short, and I do believe that eventually we are destined to go down, and we are not we are not bottomed in the market. Now I can give you reasoning as well why do I think that, but I have explained it like countless times on the stream, so I don't need to do that much. But I'm just gonna give you one example, so you guys know that I'm not like making stuff myself. I have a pretty good reason to think that, and this is basically the major reason. So let me just give you a quick overview what have been happening lately in the market. The first of all, the price accumulates. Um, the okay. Price accumulates, it does a manipulation of the high, and then we finally distribute to the lower. This structure looks very similar to this structure, correct? Accumulation happens, the manipulation happens, and price distributes to the lower. Now the same thing is is happening here. The price capitulated, and now it's accumulating, and now we have done a manipulation. Now the question is that we do not know how long this manipulation will be, and we need a confirmation of a manipulation before we execute a major short. So the major confirmation of the short will be is that we close a candle below this value area low, and we do a retest and start to go down. That will be your confirmation that now this PO3, this is called PO3 by the way, this accumulation, manipulation, and distribution basically means power of three concepts. So this is what we want to see before we get a very big confirmation that now the AMD PO3 is in play, and now we will go down. We need a closing below this black line. This is basically called value area high. This, or you can take it like this, that we have this range, and if price closes inside this range, that is your confirmation that now price will make a new low. Okay, right now we are still in early stages of this concept I have drawn. And also keep in mind, for the manipulation to happen, it is must that we also sweep higher time frame liquidity. So right now I am waiting for this 4 hour imbalance or these equal highs to get swept before I execute my short. So this is basically my reason why I think the absolute bottom is not in. I still think that we have a lot of liquidity on a higher time frame that needs to be swept, such as, of course, these lows. I do not like these lows. I think all they need to be swept. And if we lose this low, this 49k low, then your next target which we are looking at is basically 43k, and I will heavily buy spot once we make a new low. So if I get an opportunity to buy spot at 54K, I will do it. And if I get another opportunity to buy at 43K, I will basically do it. But we do not want to see Bitcoin going lower than the 43K, because if we do, then the next level you are looking at is basically 27K, which is not good. And I think that would be very bear case scenario. Okay, I hope that made sense. Now let's talk about the potential scalps and intradays long till our short. So basically, what I'm looking to do is that I'm looking to do longing into my short POI. So something like this, that we bounce, go into our short area, we enter in a short, and then we short till the lows. That is basically what I am looking to do right now. Let me also drop a chart screenshot in the chat. So that is something what I'm looking to do. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just remove the drawings from the chart. So this is my first level of short POI. Okay. Oh, sorry, the long POI. Now the reasoning is we have an anchored VWAP of a 4 hour from this downtrend high, because after once this high was formed, we had a huge capitulation. So this high is a very significant high. Anchored VWAP is all about where you place your anchor. So this is a very strong anchor. So we have our first confluence is this 4 hourly high anchored VWAP. The second is this, we have a 4 hour imbalance. And the third is that we have this value area high and daily level. So you have a $1,000 range where you can look for entry. So ideally, what I'm expecting is that price will come down, go below the anchored VWAP. So the people who will think that okay, now we are going below the anchored VWAP, this means we will go down. But this is just to manipulate them. So we will go down. We will manipulate the anchored VWAP. Let me just draw it. We will manipulate the anchored VWAP, tap our value area high, and then go higher into our short POI, and then eventually we will go lower. This is something what I am expecting to happen. Either this short level, either sorry guys, give me a second. Either this short level, or we will go higher. We will get an opportunity from this short level, and we will short from there. But eventually, the goal is to look for mega shorts from these two POIs. And if we flip the 80K level, then I will start to get some sort of bullish, but I highly doubt that we are going to do that, because I still don't think so. The bottom is in. The bottom, also the bottom structure does not look like this. You never leave lows like this on the bottom. We never swept the absolute low as well. So I am not really confident about this. Now another scenario that can play it out. First, we made a scenario that we will get a sorry guys, we will get a bounce from this long area into our short. But the second scenario is that I'm going to show you that we had some sort of liquidity. I don't trade 12-hour time frame this much, by the way. We did tap into the 12-hour imbalance. This was a liquidity single print, you can say. So we so what can happen is that we have confirmed some sort of a manipulation on a 12 hourly time. So what can happen is that if price comes down and closes on under the range, then I think that would be the sign for me to look for shorts around this area, and then I will basically be really strong about my case where the manipulation has happened, and I will target the lows. So this is another scenario. Okay, right now I'm not a fortune teller, so I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, if you're expecting me to tell what's going to happen, no, I cannot do that because I don't know. But what I can tell you is that I have my levels marked out, and I will watch those levels for a reaction. And if there is a reaction, I will react and make an entry. That is my trading style. It can be complex, it can be hard, but that is how trading is supposed to be. It is not supposed to be easy. So we close below it, we want to exhaust all of our option. We want to talk about all of the scenarios that can happen, so we can act accordingly, basically. So we closes below the value area high, we do a retest, and value area high often gets retest. So I'm pretty sure that we will get a retest, and we won't just go down. So and if we go down, then I mean, yeah, what can I do? Because we front ran our major short area, so I was not able to take a short. So I will need a retest to make an entry. So we get a retest, and we basically targets the lows. That will be our second scenario if we close below the value area high, and I will turn really bearish after that. Hope that made sense. This is the Bitcoin update. I tried to make it as simple as for you guys. Right now, for you, just look at this daily level on my chart, and just remember this daily level. This is the level you want to look at. If we start to get closings below this level, this is something you don't want to look at. This daily level, basically. So I hope that made sense. Another reason I want to mention, I just don't want to stretch this update much more, is that we did not sweep the naked point of control. These NPOCs, I'm not going to tell you what they are. Just know that this is something, this is a concept that is used in the trading. So these naked point of controls basically act as a magnet. They are, you can say, this is a liquidity, whatever you want to say, but they act as a magnet and price is attracted towards this. Now I can show you examples on the chart as well. Okay, let me just remove this volume profile. So we had this one naked point of control there, and you can see the price came down to sweep this naked point of control. We had this naked point of control, the price went above, then came back just to sweep this naked point of control. We had this naked point of control on the chart, the price went up to sweep that. And I can show you much more examples such as this. No, this is not a valid naked point of control. We had this, the price went up and then came back to sweep this. So this, they work like a magic. You can also see this naked point of control. We had this naked point of control, the price went up to just to sweep this. So in ranges, they work like a magic, and they also are a really great POIs. So essentially, if we get like if we get a if what I would like to see is that I would like to see a sweep of this, get into my short POI, and then I would love to short. And we did not trigger any short opportunity for me because we never went into a short POI. Just give me a second, I want to look at something real quick. um, okay, I thought there was a single print. Okay, never mind, guys. Sorry if there's a background noise on the behind. Okay, let's talk about the Ethereum now, shall we? And then we can look at your altcoins if you want. Okay, so let me just go on a normal candles. So on the Ethereum, there is an interesting thing happening, because on the if we compare the Bitcoin, let me just open the Bitcoin chart on my side. Okay. Oh shit. BTC. So let me just remove this. So we have this 4 hour candle on a Ethereum 4 hour imbalance. But if I go on a Bitcoin, we also had a, sorry, this is a 1 hour chart. So let me just open this. But on the Bitcoin, we did not tap this 4 hour imbalance. That is the difference I'm trying to tell you, that this Ethereum had a short opportunity, short trigger, but Bitcoin did not. So that is why I only took a scalp and not a sorry, this is a wrong one. This one we never triggered a short opportunity on the Bitcoin, but we did on the Ethereum. So just wanted to show you this real quick. Now let's get into the Ethereum. Let me just remove this and look at my levels real quick on my second monitor. Yeah. Okay, again, and I'm not a fan of how we left lows like this. I'm gonna show you something similar. Okay, this is really important. You guys would say that why I'm showing previous examples. Previous examples are the best examples to make you understand why I am bearish. See, do you see the similarities here? You should be able to, and now see the similarities. This is not how you form the bottom. This is never how you form the bottom. So yeah, I'm pretty much expecting lower. That is my thought. And Ethereum looks than Bitcoin, to be honest, because we are looking to reclaim into the range. This is not good. So if Ethereum should bounce from here, because if it reclaims inside the value area high, would be really cautious with the Ethereum, especially with the longs. Like some people might argue that there is an imbalance, we can come and go higher, sure. But again, you have to keep in mind the higher time frame context as well. This structure looks bullish, yes, but you have the liquidity. This count as a bearish PO3 in play. So you need to have a right side of the market. And what we can do is that we can bounce from this, reject from some liquidity here, and then go down. So this can also happen, just to keep in mind. So do not get bullish if we get a bounce from there. We, let's say the Ethereum comes down. This is the black line. Okay, this is the do and die level. So Ethereum closes below this, comes to this PO3, your point of interest, and also you also have a around this level 0.62, and Ethereum bounces from there. Do not get bullish until we also close above this black line again. If Ethereum does something like this, okay, that's good because we have now again reclaimed the value area high and we are respecting the structure. But if that does not happen and Ethereum comes down to this level, we give a bounce. But this bounce is just a bearish retest into some imbalance order block or the resistance, then you basically look to short from there. So yeah, I mean, of course, it is complex. Yeah, it is complex, but again, trading is never supposed to be that easy. So you have to exhaust all of our options. What can happen? My bias still remains bearish again, as mentioned, and you can already see how beautifully we are respecting the bearish TA. We literally just ticked into my short PY on the Ethereum, and boom. So now, for me, we should bounce, but this does not look good. Ethereum looks really weak. We do have this 1 hour imbalance on the Ethereum here. If we Ethereum closes below this, then we need a quick reclaim of the value area high. Otherwise, Ethereum would just go down and make a new low. So this value area high is your do and die level. You can catch a lot of good opportunities using this value area high. So just keep an eye on this value area high. It is not. It is really easy to draw them. Just draw it from current market price to the when the market started ranging, and you will get this value area high value. If you trust me, if you really need to integrate the auction market theory in your trading style, this volume profile, otherwise you will most probably left behind in the ranges, because this tool thrives in the range. Just a second. This tool thrives in the range. This tool is made for the range. Literally, its name is volume fixed range volume profile. So, and market ranges 80% of the time, and market only trends 20% of the time. So you will left behind 80% of the time if you do not get alongside with this concept. This is a must concept to study if you want to trade the ranges. So yeah, this is something I'm observing on the Ethereum. Not too bullish on the Ethereum. The next expansion that we can get on the Ethereum is basically this, and after that I would love to short Ethereum to the major. I'm pretty sure this is also a golden pocket as well. I can, or I guess point 0.5, not a golden pocket. Yeah, nope, I was wrong. We also have a golden pocket around this level. Let me just confirm if we have a naked point of control around this level. No, we do not have a naked point of control around this level. Let me just give me a second. Let me just draw it from there. Okay. We do have a some sort of a, well, not exactly a single print. We have low volume nodes around this level, so this is where I'm heavily looking to scale into the short. So just give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. Let me just open the indicators and mark out the values as well. Um, yeah, we also have lost the Monday high. We should have just like bounced from the Monday high. We also have lost the Monday high, so this is not good either. Then also we also have a, I guess, let me just, yeah, we also had a monthly value area high, as you can see this black line. So once this black line is lost, this is your next level of area where you are looking to get a bounce. Retest this, and this is eventually your play will be. If we lose the monthly value area high, okay, let me just drop this again on the chart. So yeah, I hope that made sense, guys. This was it for the Ethereum and the Bitcoin. My bias remains the bearish. Now let me look at the silver, and you guys can drop the altcoins chart request if you have any, and I would be happy to chart it. And if you guys have any questions regarding my strategy, my or the plan I made in front of you, I am happy to answer. Just do let me know, okay? Silver. I try to make it as simple for you as guys. So we were in a silver swing long, but I ended up closing that long because I saw the exhaustion in the trend, you can say. It's like we rejected from a very first bearish POI, and the rejection was such a big, and now we are again looking really bad, and we are respecting the bearish TA to a lot, and if I go on a 4 hour, this does not look. Anyone who trades the price action structure just could tell this looks really bad. So my next POI where I will be looking to open a silver swing long would be this. So either you get something like this, a quick bounce from this, or you get something like this, a deviation of this level, and then run higher. So that is my silver POI. Let me just also draw the volume profile for this. Yeah, this would require the volume profile value area loop to get broken. Also keep that in mind. We also didn't just draw from the all-time high, and we also have from this anchor we have. Okay, so this is your, so this volume profile is your entire range volume profile, in which this imbalance also comes in, and this aligns with this daily levels. So that's your first POI, and the second volume profile you have is basically this one. But I highly doubt this would work because we do not have any high confluences around this level. So I would say just stick to that level. Let me just also draw the Fibonacci. You can also see we also have a OTE level around this level. They are basically, this is something I have developed over time. I learned it from someone else, the daily levels and the weekly levels, but over time I it according to my needs. I tweaked them, and of course I did a back testing. And they are basically, you can, for your simplicity, they are basically support and resistance level. They are not actually, but you can say them support and resistance level. I have back tested them a lot. If you scroll on my channel, I'm just saying it to flex it because anyone who asks me, I just like to flex it. So when you will if you go and scroll on my channel, or just ask me in the general chat once we end this stream, even before the range was formed, I said this was your Harley level. I said that, and you can see how well respected this level have been till the range was broken. So I took a shot from there using this Harley level, and I'm not capping. You can go on my channel and look at it, or just remind me after it, and I'll show you. So they are basically my levels, and you can see how beautifully they get respected. And I marked them before this range was formed. Do not think that I marked them once the range was formed. I marked them before the range was formed, and they basically respected. I also talked about my mistakes, I guess, in my last, where I was not able to execute the long my daily level, which was unfortunate because this was a very good long. Okay, never mind. I'm deviating from the topic. Let me just go on a silver chart real quick. So yeah, that's it. I don't think so. I can add much more to the silver. I sense weakness in the silver, and I think it is still in the premium, and I would like to see it lower. Yeah. Do you guys have any chart requests, that specific chart requests that you guys want me to look at? I would be happy to answer. And yeah, in general, how you guys have been doing, how the market have been treating you. I'm going to be like really honest with you guys. The performance by my co-analyst in the server co-traders, it's been crazy, especially by the Wave, of course the Muro, and the Koala. The guy had some sort of drawdown last month, but he have been killing it this month. And trust me, I know many traders, and February and even the start of the March have been really hard for them because this pump was quite of a sudden one. So I can promise you, and I'm saying this, and I'm not even saying it. I found the people here in the Earning Light the best. This is like one of the best team I have ever worked with. I have worked with many teams before then. I still work with many teams, but they're like on a lower side, and this is like the best team I have ever worked with. And you also learn with the great people when you work with the great people, of course, because there's always to learn something. Like how Ethereum is haven't closed a candle below it. So I'm still observing this. Okay. Can find a good chart that I want to analyze it for you guys. The Z-Arrow trade from Wave was a good one. I can do a quick analysis on that if you want. It was a very good trade. It was basically a beautiful sweep of the equal highs, SFP of the high, long trapped at the highs, and imbalance of a 4 hour. This was a plus setup on my book, and I was like, fuck man, why didn't I spot that? When I saw the chart, I was amazed when I saw the chart that okay, I need to trade the altcoins because opportunities like this A plus setups comes in on altcoins. But the problem is that I am like too much stick to the Bitcoin that I don't like trading the altcoins anymore, man. But this was a great opportunity. Like this was an A plus setup according to my system, the system I have made over time. Uh, let's look at the arrow. It's been years. Okay, now fuck it. This looks bad. Yeah. Zach, do we want to look at the Zach? Oh, I have a long position running on the Zach on my account. Yeah, this was a pretty bad long. Don't ask me why I took it. That's why I don't trade the altcoins. They're pretty bad. I mean, it was pretty obvious that this was a very bad long, but I took it anyways because yeah, this is bad. I'm still I mean, the thing was that when this price went up, we did a break out of the value area high, but now since the price have now traded more, changes of the value area high and the value area lows have been changed. So this will probably get stopped out and we will get a bounce from this value area low. It's going to gold. Oh, gold looks best. Gold looks good to me. Yeah. You had this range on the gold. It was a very beautiful range. I did make decent money on this range. You can see. Just refine my levels really quick. Give me a second. Let me just refine them. Okay. So you had this range. That was your deviation. That was your deviation, and that was your deviation, and that was your breakout and retest of the range, and now higher. You can also classify this as a retest, but I don't like this. Okay, do you see this is a sign of weakness? So this indicates lower, and once we get into this range again, price will do something like this. This looks very similar to the Bitcoin, isn't it? That we did a range, now we went up, and if we declaim inside the range, we will just basically go inside the range and just do choppy price action again. So I would like to see a bounce from that. Otherwise, the gold will look bad. But I do like how what we are doing on a higher time frame. Oh hell no. Weekly. Well, for me, the way I like to use the RSI is not. I do not like to look at the wick. I like to look at the candles. So if you use the candles, I don't think so that there is a proper bearish divergence. Well, maybe there is like from there, but I don't trade RSI that much. But eventually this is destined to go lower. But you can have divergences for a very long time and they can just not play out like this high, this high. Like, do you see this high and this high? Mm, well, fuck, that's not a divergence. Oh my god, I'm not gonna trade the RSI. This is shit as fuck. Let me see if I can find it because divergences often don't get played out. I'm pretty this is not a divergence. This is not a divergent. The thing is that if RSI retests the 50 level, then your divergence is basically invalidated and now the RSI have been resetted. So that's why you have to be careful while looking at the divergences as well. So yeah, I'm not able to find this because probably on a daily we can find it, but yeah. So let's see what happens in the gold. I like the daily structure. I like how there is no imbalance, but I do not like this. This is your main level that we need to flip out, okay? And this is also a very good short opportunity if we get it. So this is something. If we flip this level, Gucci, we are going to the all-time high. But if we don't, yeah, you are basically cooked. I'm gonna draw this the chart. This is your do and die level. Total. Yeah, we can look at the total. Total. Yeah, this looks bad. This looks like a in PO3 to me, man. People are calling a breakout, but I just cannot consider this as a proper breakout. Only thing that is bullish that we front trend the 4 hour imbalance. That is the only thing I can talk bullish about the total. If you look at from the higher time frame perspective, what you have is basically lower. We are going higher. Let me just also confirm it with my imbalance as well. Let me just remove the shit from my chart. Okay, so let me just also try this. Yeah, you see, this is a learning curve for you. So let's say once a trend is parabolic, okay, so once the trend is parabolic, it does not give a retest of discount often. Is not must, it is not must that it will do that, but this is like if you are a very experienced trader you can utilize that. So once a trend is parabolic, it is very high chances that it won't give you a retest to the discount, but instead it will just give you a retest to the 0.382 and just go lower. This happens very much a lot of time. Can probably show you example, but I don't think so. It's harder to find them. Well, probably not, because I think this is a very good example as well. You can see once the price came down, the very first level we rejected from was the 0.382, and you can see the price rejected, price rejected. We did a deviation of this level. We did not even tap the point 0.5 properly. This was classified as a manipulation, by the way. That is how I called the 98k top using 3, and then boom. So this looks bad to me. And for me to like start calling for the higher for these charts, I would like to see Philip of basically like these levels. So this is the range you have, and these are the equal highs. So let's say price comes down, sweep this, and it can always go lower. This is a very high POI for you. But what I would like to see is that price go up, maybe reject and lower, go lower, but eventually reclaim this level, reclaim this range, and now I am happy, and we can look for higher. But as long as we stay inside this range, do reject from very first short POIs we get, then again this is just a sign of bearishness. That's not a sign of bullishness. So you have to look at the higher time frame context. Hope that made sense. If it don't hold here, yeah. Again, let me the same thing I talked about on the Ethereum sesh. I have to what I just talked about the Ethereum. Okay, so if we close below this, there is a high chance we don't do that because we have this aligning beautifully with that. So if we close below this, then you are looking lower. If we don't do that, we can see some sort of a bounce into our short POI, which is this 4 hour. Then we basically look for lower, because ideally I still see this as a just nothing but as a manipulation. So or the equal highs. Okay, you have these equal highs, you give a sweep these equal highs, and then eventually go lower. I have already talked about the area where like the scenario where I will turn bullish. So if we reclaim, if we close below the value area high, and if we do a bearish retest, then you can see a 10 to 20% discount very easily. More than that, we will put a new low basically if that happens, which will be of course more than the 30%. So your major short trigger would be basically just reclaim inside the VA. That's basically or would be look for shorts. Value area low, retest. What do you mean, like this? Yeah, you can do it, but it won't give a retest most probably. It often does not give it. So if you get it, yeah, you can use it. But always look for confirmations. Like let's say if we break below the value area low, and this can be used on a lower time frame as well. You just want to see some sort of a reaction, and also look at the flow, what the flow is saying. So right now, the spot is weak. Like Coinbase is selling heavily, Binance is also contributing decently. So for me to look for longs for here, when like this is the area, like 70k 69k is the area I marked out where I would be interested in looking at longs. You can also look at my channel before that, and even if the price comes to the 69k level, and if there is no bullish spot buying, then of course I would not like hit an entry trigger. So you want to see more of the longs opening here at the highs, but the spots are selling, and that's when you trigger a sell button. Levels are really obvious. Like most of the time you will get very obvious levels, but you will see yourself not like executing them. The problem is not highlighting the levels. Anyone can tell you the levels. It is about executing them. Like I did call the 98k, but I will also agree that I pussied out when it comes to executing the 98k properly. I closed it early despite having a proper plan. So the problem is not the levels and the TA, it's about your execution. So if you're a good executor, you can do anything in this market. So yeah, hope this helped you guys. Let me know if you guys have a very specific chart request. I'm gonna ask it again. If not, then yeah, I hope you guys learned something from that stream, the market update. And yeah, cheers guys. Said, I always appreciate your presence. We do this stream every Monday. The structure of the stream is basically where on the Monday we create a Bitcoin intraday plan, and on the Thursday I usually update that plan if that plan has already been executed or or like invalidated, then we make a new plan. That's what we did on the Thursday. So yeah, I hope that made sense. There is no chat request. I will be ending the stream in next 1 minute. So yeah, just let me know, guys. It seems like we do not have anything. You guys for joining in. I will drop the in my stream link in the chat. So you can, if you want, you can hit the interest button. So you will get the notification every time I will go live on the Thursday. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. Have a great Thursday.